The entitled parents refused to discipline their kids and got kicked out of the cafe. I have worked in a few places. Currently, I am working in a cafe, and I also volunteer at some charity shops. Due to my workaholic lifestyle, where I constantly want to be doing something, I often deal with entitled people almost daily. It started off as a normal day. Actually better than usual, as it was relatively calm with not many people, just small families with teenagers. This meant we didn't have to deal with messy tables or little children running around and yelling. However, a large family came in. There were a total of 8 children, with the youngest around 4 and the oldest around 7. It was clear that they weren't all their children, perhaps a small party, though I doubted it. They asked for a table for 20, even though there were only 10 of them. This was a bit confusing, so I explained that we don't have tables big enough for a group of 20, but we do have a table that can fit 15 if they prefer. Usually booked, it happened to be available that day, which was fortunate for them but not so much for me, the other waitress, and our chef. It took around 15 minutes to get all the kids to the table, as the parents weren't helping. Normally, if kids are running around, we don't do anything about it. However, these kids were climbing everywhere, and some of the 6-year-olds almost made it into the kitchen. It wasn't until the entitled parent yelled at them that they can't go in the kitchen as they might end up poking an eye out. Bear in mind, we don't have anything around the eye level of these 6-year-olds that would poke an eye out, but we do have a lot of boiling water, knives, and extremely hot stoves. In my opinion, the whole kitchen is quite dangerous for a bunch of 6-year-olds. However, that's all the parents did to try and control these kids. When I asked, "Do you mind calling your children to the table as they are causing a disturbance in the cafe?" their response was, "There isn't anyone else here, they are fine. If you have such an issue with it, you go get them back to the table." I was genuinely shocked at this. My co-worker, who we can call Jess, was on her break, but she was kind enough to end her break early to help me get all these kids to the table. I am so thankful for that, as I am not good with kids. I only managed to get 2 of the kids back to the table, and she managed to get the rest back with ease. Once we got the last kid back, who had dirt on their face as he was digging up the plants, these entitled parents had the audacity to say to us, "Took you long enough." We do have a strict boss who wasn't in yet, so we didn't want to kick them out before our boss could actually see what was happening, as he would be on the customer's side before even checking the security footage and checking with us to see what actually happened. So we just tried our best to bottle up how we were feeling and hoped our boss, whom we can call Ross, would come back in time to deal with them. According to Jess, as she worked here longer than me, she said that we only had 1 person kicked out and banned from the cafe, and they weren't as bad as these people, so that got my hopes up that I will never have to deal with these people again. Now, let's skip a few minutes to when the entitled parents whistled me over like a dog. I did make a comment at this, saying, "Please don't whistle at me to get my attention, you can call my name, Thea." He scoffed at this and then proceeded to state their order. It was a large order, but expected for a large group and wasn't as bad as I expected. I thought it would be more, considering they were being so rude, but I tried thinking positively that perhaps they had a bad day and were just overwhelmed with all these kids. Now, this order had a lot, so Jess helped out the chef, who we can call Eric. Jess isn't the best cook, but she only did the easy things like boiling the eggs for him or making the toast while he made the pancakes and waffles. During this time, I tried sitting at one of the booths not close to them, but I could see their whole table, and I did keep a close eye on them. I thought this was a smart idea, and it would have been if they didn't need something every 5 seconds. How long will it take? Are you allowed to be sitting down during your work? We want a new cup, these are too small. There isn't enough ice in my water. We want new cutlery, these are dirty. I can confirm they were not dirty, and they didn't even notice that I just gave them the same cutlery back as I knew they were clean. Before someone says that they might have dropped it or something, I had my eye on them the whole time to make sure they didn't cause any chaos, and the cutlery they wanted to change, only the entitled parents' cutlery, was the only one left untouched. "Does the pancake have eggs in it?" they asked out of curiosity, not even for allergies or dietary reasons. "Do you have a spare hairband? Mine broke. Oh wait, I got one in my bag. Never mind." This was annoying, and I felt as if they knew what they were doing because every time I sat down, they would call me over with an annoying Thea, in that irritating teacher's voice that made me want to rip my ears off. But I kept calm, answering all their questions with a smile on my face. Here in the UK, we don't get tipped as nicely as Americans. Quite often, I don't even get tipped. So, I did this expecting perhaps a small tip for dealing with them. It took around half an hour to get all their food out. We wanted to make sure it all came out at the same time and was warm. But the eggs and toast for the parents were finished quicker than expected, so they came out 5 minutes earlier than the rest of the food. This is where the chaos everyone loves happens. "Mum, where is the rest of the food?" Me, "Oh, they are about to be right out." "Mum, how long?" "Exact time, we aren't mind readers." And she gives that dirty smile that makes you feel so angry, as you can tell that they aren't being nice at all. Me, haha, it should just be 5 minutes. I try laughing it off, as usually, it works with the rude people I serve. "Dad, why is it taking so long?" We have been here for hours, and you want us to wait even longer. Me, the tickets say the time they were printed. I know you have been waiting for around 30 minutes, but that is expected to make 4 deluxe 5-stacked pancakes and 3 deluxe waffles, and you did request for all the food to come out at the same time. We did try to time it, but your 2 meals just finished quicker than expected, so we didn't want it to get cold. I did expect them to interrupt me, but they actually let me say all of this, so I thought they might have understood that we were doing our job as best as possible and didn't want to serve them cold food. Mom, you're a chef, and you don't know how long it takes to boil an egg. Pathetic. Me, now a little annoyed but still trying to be nice. I am not the chef, and he just made one small mistake, and we are so sorry about it. I am not sorry at all. Dad, you seem very sorry with that attitude. Me, I am sorry if I gave an attitude. I just had a long day. I have not had a long day. But I need to stay calm, as I know my boss will be back soon, and if I were to yell at them like I wanted to, I just know he would walk in and fire me on the spot. Mom, we also had a hard day, but you don't see us being B. Dad, just get the pancakes out now. Me, I will go see if they are done now. I leave, and I can hear them snickering and talking about me being incompetent and unable to do simple tasks, but I started to feel as if luck was on my side. Once I get into the kitchen, I see Ross entering from the back at the same time as me. I explain everything as quickly as possible. The pancakes were almost done, they were just plating it all up. He was very understanding and told me to stay at the counter at the front and serve any new customers, and he will serve this family. So, this is everything I heard and saw. He serves the family, and I can see them complain and hear them talk even more about me, saying how she is so bad they replaced her already. Now I could see Ross getting annoyed, but he was doing his job. He didn't put on his manager badge and instead had another co-worker's badge on, so I realized he was pretending to be a normal employee so they wouldn't start acting differently as he owns the cafe. When the food all gets there, the kids were extremely messy, wiping their dirty hands from all the ice cream and chocolate sauce on the chairs. Now, these chairs had fabric on them and can be easy to stain if left dirty. I saw the parents laughing at this, not telling them off, not even saying anything to the kids. Then I saw the kids starting to get up and run around again. Now, Ross already knows how bad they were when they first were running around, and now they are covered in food, so you can assume it is worse. Before I go to stop them, Ross tells me, "That's my table now, I'll deal with it." So he goes over to the parents and tells them, "Tell your children to sit down, they are making a mess." And he got the same response as they gave me. This is when he says, "I'll get your bill." I heard some arguing. Apparently, they didn't want to pay yet or leave. So he explains how they are being kicked out, as their behavior is making the cafe a mess and making people not want to come into the cafe. Now, this felt like something out of one of those Reddit stories when they said, "You can't kick us out, you're not the manager." And I saw his smirk. "I am the manager, you are being kicked out, and if you don't leave, you will be banned from ever eating here again." Me and Jess loved this. If we had popcorn, it would have been perfect. They refused to leave for a few minutes but did pay, and when they were leaving, he yelled out, "You are banned, forever, never come back here, you see." And this father turned around so quickly and yelled, "We have children, don't swear in front of them." This is where I cut in and say, "You were swearing in front of them earlier." Now Ross did tell me off for this comment but not in front of them, as he didn't want to make them feel as if they were in the right, as they weren't. But they did argue with Ross for a bit, and I will just summarize it for you. They didn't want to leave, wanted a refund for bad service. Ross said they paid for the food and did not tip, and since they ate all the food, they won't get a refund. This repeats until he threatens to call the police, so they leave. Now he didn't check the security footage, but he said judging from their behavior, he knew what we said was the truth, which was nice to hear. This is my first proper Reddit post, so I hope it was good. If you want to hear more of these sorts of stories, I have plenty, some worse, but this happened recently, and I only just got Reddit, so it just felt right to vent about it.